Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about some of the spin-off characters that I feel like deserve their own book. Because there's so many supporting characters in some of my favorite books that I feel like they don't get enough time, like scenes, or I feel like I would like to learn more about these characters, or maybe they feel like they're kind of like left behind, or they just pretty much do need a new book for themselves, and I feel like you need more of them. And so, one of the book characters starting off, I want to talk about the trilogy of Court of Thorns and Roses, Lucien, because I had like a love-hate relationship with him. In the first book, I was like starting to get to know him, but then in the second book, I pretty much was turned off by him. But then in the third book, I kind of grew to actually admire him even more from how he dealt with everything and how his battles between who to go with, what side to be on, and I do feel like he didn't get to play like a huge enough part to show off us what he can do. So I mean, he needs more fight scenes, and I like the fact that when he went on a journey, to find a queen, and I want to see like maybe in the spinoff like him about like what happened during that time when he was gone, or maybe like after the story, maybe him trying to win the love of Elaine or something, because it still shipped us two. So pretty much would like to see those two get together eventually, and maybe their own personal spinoff will happen. And also Lucien, I do feel like for once he should be like a hero of a story. So that's one character. And for anybody who doesn't like them, maybe reading a story about him will actually give us like a much more appreciation for him. So that's one of them. Another character that I felt like year two, I did have like a iffy feeling, not sure in the first book, but at the same time, I do feel like he pretty much deserves his own story in a way for him to show himself more. Is Lorne from Red Queen, and for the whole trilogy, I do feel like he's kind of like underappreciated in some way, and I feel like because he doesn't have powers, he's kind of like the one that gets left behind, and he did find some of his purpose somehow, but I do feel like maybe in a spinoff he actually could become the hero in some way. So I do feel like maybe like a spinoff or a novella or it's like a short story type of thing. It will be interesting to see his own side of things and how he moves on from the fourth book if he still lives. So hopefully he does. I haven't read that yet because it came out yet, but I think he should get one. Next book with a character that I do feel like could have a spinoff, and it's kind of like a mixture, like a two characters, of course. I know I'm cheating because it's supposed to be five characters, but I would like to talk about these two from The Passenger duology. And if you haven't read this book, this is a really good book if you like time travel. And one of the characters is Sofia. And at first in the book, I thought she was very snooty. Kind of, I'm not sure about her. I thought she'd be just spoiled brat type of thing. But in the second book, I grew to appreciate her even more, and I thought she's kind of funny, sarcastic, and especially her dark humor that she brings in the book. And I felt like I think she deserves her own book. I think it would be seems really interesting about Sofia, and for anybody who's like doesn't like her, maybe we actually will grow to love her even more. So, and I would like to see her and the other girl that shows up in the second book. Maybe things happen between them, and also would like to see that other boy that who I won't name shows up and has a his own story. So I think it would be interesting and more time travel within this world. Let's see. The next character do I do feel like should get a spinoff? I mean, I'm not sure if it would happen just because the author's no longer with us, but maybe Hollywood would do one for us or something. And I would like to see a spinoff for Legolas because I think he's a cool character, and I love elves. And since elves is kind of like elves is pretty much a thing nowadays. Elves and actually it was Fae, but technically I do think he deserves more of a story for himself. And I mean, for two books already from two worlds, both Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, we're used to seeing from the side point of view of the hobbits. But I would like to see more of a story about all about the elves and see more of his world and the king and pretty much even the cat flashing character that who's not really an actual character from the Lord of the Rings, but she was added on. I would like to see something happen between those two. and I would like to see much more of that. So, yeah, pretty much would seem like a good story. What do you think? And lastly, the other characters that I do think should get a spinoff is, oops, Kit and Ty, and also Drusilla. Those three should be in the same book together, and I would like to see them like years later after the whole trilogy ends and see how they could come. It could be like Ty and Kit becoming the Parabatai, and Drusilla pretty much being the third character. I guess she'll be like a younger version of Isabel, I guess, in some way. Because do you think she would be like a nerdy version of her in some way? And Kit pretty much is the Jace of that series, so pretty much he'd be like that series and continue the whole Horndal tradition. And I like the fact with between the bond of Kit and Ty, and I see them becoming a pair with Ty eventually. I mean, come on, the trilogy did set them up that way, so I think it would be an interesting story to see how also how Kit pretty much fit in with the world and how he evolved, and maybe he became much more of a fighter and so on. He's pretty much like a little Jace, I guess. So I think it'd be fun. So that's pretty much all the characters that I thought of that needs a spin off. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of these characters. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And if there's other characters that you feel like should get a spin-off story, do let me know. I would like to hear about them. And if you enjoyed this video, hearing about my thoughts on stuff, like bookish thoughts and so on, and click on the thumbs up. And if you want to stay tuned for more, do follow around and subscribe to the channel and keep on reading.